The Heirloom Shop is a century-old business located just off 34 in Sharpsburg, Georgia. The Heirloom was recently renovated by a couple in 2020 and was now home to over 50 boutique shops, and including the Heirloom Bakery Shop, where it created donuts and met at church gatherings throughout the local Coweta County in Georgia, and was also a meetup spot for seniors and multiple church groups in the mornings. Things seemed to be going well at the Heirloom Bake Shop when, unfortunately, in 2022, tragedy had struck. On September 20th in 2022, a fire began in the Heirloom. Ten people were actually inside the building when the fire had began, all of which had made it out alive. The upper level had burned completely and fallen through to the lower level. Firefighters were able to salvage none of the century-old business. But inside of all of this, inside of the muck and the depression and the despair, a group of kids had actually risen to the occasion. An occasion to help their fellow man. There are two types of men in this world: those who run away from fires and those who run to the fire. At the time of the fire, just up the hill lies Trinity Christian School. And at the time of the fire, there was a group of kids having football practice after school. These are the Trinity Lions football team. And when they had noticed the fire, when they had seen the smoke, several students, several football players had run to the fire. The Heirloom Bake Shop was home to a hangout spot to a lot of people, including Trinity Lions football players who after practice would often head over and have some coffee and some donuts. And this particular group of students, when they saw the fire, they ran towards it. 2 days after the events, when the Heirloom Bake Shop owners were observing the tragedy that had taken place, two firemen had told them the story of the Trinity Lions football players who had approached them and immediately helped providing them with the hose and the water and allowed them to fight this fire and avoid further devastation. Without hesitation, without knowing what they were going to encounter, they left their own comfort, their own football practice, and they immediately ran to help. This is from the teachings of Coach Kenny Dallas. When the Heirloom Bake Shop owner had called Coach Dallas and asked him about his side of the story, he told them that he had taught his kids that there are two types of people in this world: those who had run towards the fire and those who run away from the fire. And on that day, these students ran towards the fire. These kids did not know what they were running towards. They only knew that the people needed their help and that they were reaching a moment where they had to make a decision. Are they going to run from the fire, or are they going to run towards the fire? And these kids, these 17 and 18-year-olds, without hesitation made the long run from the football practice field all the way to the Heirloom to offer their help, not knowing what they might endure. Stories like this inspired the Heirloom. They inspired the owners, and they let them see a light. They let them see promise in a young and promising group of kids in the middle of all this tragedy. God was present that day. God had given them strength to make the help and stopping further tragedy. Educating, equipping, and empowering That is the Trinity way, and that is what Coach Dallas had instilled in these kids. And on that day, they answered the call. They ran towards the fire.